Alright, here we go for another shave. Today, I'm going to be using Rustic shaving soap from WSP, Wet Shaving Products. And this is their tobacco scent. And it's pretty straightforward. It's a nice, clean, fresh tobacco scent. Obviously not cigar tobacco or reminiscent of cigars in any way, shape, or form. This shave is actually provided to my from my buddy Cherokee Jack on Instagram, Jason. He's a friend of mine that lives real close to me, and grew up with him and whatnot. Now, we've been hanging out, and I've been kind of pushing the whole wet shaving thing on him, and so I finally got him to try it out. I gave him a little starter kit with a Razor Rock plus soft synthetic brush and a Sterling Executive Man soap, and I gave him a 34C from McCurr. So he got into it. He actually got a bowl and really enjoyed it, so I started giving him more and more of my soaps just to for him to sample and enjoy. And he's really taken a liking to it. So he bought this set from WSP, the tobacco, and he made kind of like a rookie fragrance mistake where he thought tobacco was like cigar tobacco, because a lot of times when we hang out we have cigars and whatnot. No, not in the fragrance world. Tobacco, or any labels that say like tobacco, humidor, cigar parlor, Maduro, like all of these cigar terms couldn't be more misleading from the actual fragrance. Most of the time in the fragrance world, tobacco or cigar themed fragrances, they're usually with this like tobacco leaf or tobacco flower, and it's a lot fresher and brighter than what you would get from an actual cigar. So if you didn't know that, just keep that in mind. Nothing against the scent of this, though. It is a really pleasant scent, so nothing against that at all. And this is their vegan formula, the Rustic base. They also have the Formula T, which is their tallow base. This will be the first time that I've used this, so got a little bit pressed into my Lancaster bowl here. Now this shave, he provided the majority of the items here. Obviously the bowl's mine, but he provided the soap. He provided this badass Oz shaving brush. This was actually the first place winner in the Old Cahaba shave brush competition. Now if you look, it kind of has this Lord of the Rings insignia on the top cap there. And then it has the tower right there with the eye and everything. Badass brush, man. Awesome theme and execution. This thing's awesome. Obviously my camera isn't going to pick up everything, but this thing is great, man. And it just has a normal tuxedo knot on it. One thing I will say, this handle's tall. It's taller than it's taller than every single brush I got. So we'll see kind of how I take a liking to that, or maybe not. But this is a thick brush. Thick. So we'll see how that goes. Alright. He also sent along the matching aftershave and 4 of these Acqua di Gio Giorgio Armani little sample fragrances for me to try, because he knows I like my colognes and everything. So that was pretty badass of him. As well as these McCurr stainless blades. And I haven't used those since I began, when I first bought my 34C a long time ago. So haven't used them since, so we'll see how they really are now that I kind of know my shit, and we'll revisit them. So I just dipped the brush here in the warm water, and we'll get to lathering. I'll be using my Rockwell 6S today on the 4-plate. That's kind of my go-to daily driver plate. I use it when I'm doing like a day's growth or 2 days growth, which today I think I only have a day's growth. I will say the longer handle is kind of helping me keep my hand out of the bowl, because this bowl is kind of tall, which is a good thing because no lather escapes. But sometimes my hand's down in there when I'm using my more stubby brushes. With this one, I do notice, since it has that extra height on the brush, I noticed that I'm able to kind of keep my hand up out of the bowl, so I wasn't expecting to like that. I'm going to add some more water. I'm just dipping the tips here. And it's whipping up real nice. It seems to have a kind of like a medium-high structure. There's definitely peaks forming. Add a little bit more water. Some vegan bases take a lot of water, so I don't want to overhydrate this and wash it out, but I also don't want to put a dry paste on my face. Alright, I think I got most of the soap incorporated. I got gobs and gobs and gobs. On my first use of a product, I do like to give myself more than enough to work with. That way, my first impressions aren't hindered due to the fact that I didn't load enough soap. So I just put some of this warm water on my face. Then we'll get to applying the lather here. Kind of longer than usual intro, so try to bust through this shave. Although I'm not trying to rush, but I don't want to be the guy that makes super long videos either. Sorry about that. I'm still a little bit sick. I went over to Jason's house last night and we had some cigars and beers by the fire pit, so that is always a good time. We got to talk a lot about our various hobbies and whatnot. I'm pretty familiar with this tuxedo style knot, so no issues there. This one does seem to be a quite small knot. If I don't have the specs, but if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably like a 24 millimeter synthetic bulb. But alright, that'll do. So here we go. Rockwell 6S Mercur blade. See the blade exposure there. Alright, here we go. Now I posted my shave of the day on my Instagram, and almost immediately I got some pretty good feedback, which means people definitely are fans of WSP, and I'm sure that badass Oz shaving brush definitely draws some attention to the people that knew about the competition. Now, I do have a pimple here, so if I get that, that wasn't the blade. I do have a bunch of experience with the Rockwell. I don't have a whole lot of experience with these Mercur blades. Like I said, I had them when I first bought my 34C, and I think I used the the single blade or the 5-pack that came with it. And then I immediately switched to different blades, or I bought a sample pack or something like that. So I never really gave them a fair shake, and I never revisited them until now. But given that the soap base seems to be performing quite well on that first pass, it's about a medium scent, probably 5 out of 10. I wouldn't say any higher than that. And seemed to have all the slickness I need to get the job done. It definitely was had enough cushion. I wouldn't say it's the densest soap I've ever used, but it had enough cushion, and it definitely had enough slickness to get the job done. As you saw when I kind of did that, those across the grain swipes, there was no lather at that point, and it did just fine. I'm gonna get a little bit more for pass 2 here. Still got plenty to rock, so no issues there. Yeah, it is a pretty enjoyable, simple but pleasant fragrance. Tobacco leaf, tobacco flower, whatever it is. But just don't get the misconception that all these cigar themed soaps and fragrances, don't get the misconception that they actually smell like cigars, because probably 80% of the time they're not gonna smell like a earthy, spicy, probably sometimes even barnyard type scent that a real cigar would give you. All right, pass 2 here. This is definitely more fresh, bright. It's really pleasant though. And yeah, the soap seems just fine. I know some people have reservations about vegan soaps. I don't have any idea why. If you're confident in your shaving abilities and your level of technique, then you should have no problem with any of these soaps. All right, that was not bad at all. Let me just kind of feel around. I usually have no issues whatsoever on my cheeks. I'm mostly just shaping up. The hair does grow, you know, a little bit there, here and there. It's not like I have a whole bunch up there. I'm mostly just kind of keeping that line tight. But on my neck, it does grow down quite a ways. And yeah, it feels like I might have gotten her. Oh, he's got this little swirl right here, so gotta check right there. Yeah, I think we're good. So I'm gonna rinse this off a little bit. The soap did great. The scent on it is pleasant. I wouldn't say it's anything to call home about, but it's definitely a classic scent. I don't think it's offensive at all. Just a simple, pleasant, enjoyable scent. Not to be confused with an actual cigar tobacco scent. This is my Lancaster Black Sheep towel. Microfiber. It's plush. It's like a cloud on your face. Like I said, it's not a necessity to have in your shave den, but I will say sometimes you don't know what you need until you have it. And this thing, I don't see myself shaving without this ever again. The luxury is just took it to a whole nother notch compared to my normal hand towels. It's like a pillow across your face. And getting all the soap out of the beard is probably the biggest downfall of being a bearded wet shaver, because it likes to creep all the way down to the skin and it just holds in there. All right, let's follow up with a little bit of this aftershave here. Now this has alcohol, witch hazel, fragrance, glycerin, and allantoin, which I don't know what that last one is, but I'm sure this will be some good stuff. It seems to be a basic mix of an aftershave. Those are pretty common ingredients there. All right, I got a little tingle from the alcohol. The fragrance right up front seems to be there. The fragrance isn't hindered by any alcohol smell. From what I can tell, it's the tobacco comes through true. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, so I'll do a little recap here. First impressions of the rustic base from WSP. Pretty good. It had everything I would need to get a good shave, as you just saw. I don't think I got any irritation whatsoever. Maybe just a notch right there. I don't know. A little bit redder than the rest of my skin, but no nicks, no cuts. Looks pretty good. Feels pretty good. I'm sure I'll need to follow up with some balm or something, because it is an alcohol-based splash, and I need my skin to feel nice. Actually, I'll probably use this good oleo, not balm. This good oleo is something that I'm doing some testing on. It's a pure oil blend for the skin and beard. So I'll probably put some of that on once this kind of dries in a little bit more. But yeah, the soap definitely performed well. Had all the slickness, protection I need to get a good shave. So definitely a good one if you guys want to check them out. I know they're a pretty popular brand. Tabacco might not have been the scent that I chose. I know they have a mahogany. I probably would have been more interested in something like that. I know they have or they used to have a Creed Silver Mountain Water dupe. I definitely would have been interested in something like that. But they have a lot of offerings, so I'm sure I would be able to find some if I wanted to. All right, the Merkur blade. I didn't have no problem with it at all. I know the Rockwell is a pretty comfortable razor for me, but these didn't have very much blade feel at all. They were really comfortable, and they didn't seem too sharp or harsh. I think they were just kind of right at that medium level, which is perfectly fine for me with the Rockwell on the 4-plate. On that first use, it seemed pretty good. No complaints there. The aftershave, pretty good. It was an alcohol splash, so it gave me a nice little tingle. Not too much burn. My skin doesn't feel very moisturized, but I wouldn't say it's super dry either. I would say it's kind of just gotten to a medium level. So that good oleo should help with that. But yeah, not bad. Not the best I've tried, not the worst I've tried, just not bad. Good middle of the road splash there. And I'll probably, before I head out, give this use of the Acqua di Gio Profumo here. I have smelt this in store. It is pretty nice. I think it's a more woodier version of the normal Acqua di Gio. So, pretty good. Once again, the Lord of the Rings inspired Oz shaving brush. I don't have anything from them, but I have seen a lot of their work. Pretty good. Pretty cool brush maker here. The long handle, I thought it would be more annoying, but it wasn't. I would say aesthetically, if it didn't have this badass theme and it was just like a plain white brush or something, the shape isn't too sexy. You know, the shape isn't really appealing to me. It just kind of gets very basic from that point down, you know. But I think in order to make the theme work, he just had to do that. But definitely the theme is a 10 out of 10. It's a badass brush, and you can't really go wrong with the tuxedo knot either. So, pretty cool brush here, man. Thanks for letting me give it a shot. And all of this pretty much was provided by my buddy Cherokee Jack on Instagram, Jason. So, thank you, Jason. This was awesome of you to send all this along back for me to give it a go. So, much appreciated, man. And that's my shave for today, guys. So, have a good Saturday, and have a good rest of your weekend, and have some good shaves, all right? All right, peace.